based on the testimony we hear today. Now, I would like, before proceeding with panel one, to invite my colleagues, Congressman Thomas Swayze and Congressman Christopher Smith, for opening statements for 5 minutes. Mr. Smith or Mr. Swayze, whichever of you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Eleanor Holmes Norton, thank you and Ranking Member Davis for calling this hearing, and Chairman DeFazio for that very, very passionate set of comments, very well spoken. For the invitation to speak on Sami's Law, a comprehensive bipartisan legislative initiative designed to more seriously protect passengers, especially women, who utilize rideshare services, including Uber and Lyft, from sexual assault and other forms of violence. The University of South Carolina senior Sami Josephson left a late-night outing with her friends alone because she had to work early Saturday morning. The extraordinary talented student, who had recently earned a full scholarship to Drexel University Law, ordered an Uber. In a congested part of the town, a predator, pretending to be an Uber driver, took her into the car and brutally murdered her. Less than 24 hours later, her dead body was found in a field. The murderer was caught, jailed, and now awaits trial. Almost immediately, Madam Chair, and notwithstanding their excruciating agony, and you met with the parents, as did Mr. Davis, as did Mr. DeFazio, despite that agony and the loss of their precious daughter, Sami's parents, Seymour and Marcy Josephson, began pushing for federal and state legislation to better ensure that no one else loses their life or gets assaulted by a rideshare driver or a predator who pretends to be. Working with the Josephsons, my good friend Tom and I crafted a bipartisan bill that would push states to require front license plates and, above all, scannable codes such as QR codes on both back passenger side windows that riders could scan on a smartphone device to verify their ride before, and I say again, before entering that vehicle. The bill provides a rider with the ability to opt out of using a QR code by instead using a 4-digit personal authentication number to be verified again before entering the vehicle. I want to point out that the personal number was an excellent idea suggested by the National Federation of the Blind, who have endorsed the bill, and I would ask that their letter endorsing the bill be made a part of the record. These measures would not only ensure vehicle and driver identification for riders, assist law enforcement in tracking harmful offenders, but protects drivers as well by confirming the passenger. The legislation also makes it unlawful for anyone other than a transportation network company like Uber or Lyft to sell a ride-hailing sign. Today, anybody can buy an Uber or Lyft sign on Amazon or elsewhere for as little as $10, enabling the fakes and the predators with the appearance of signage legitimacy. Additionally, Sami's Law requires the GAO to study the incidence of sexual and abuse of riders and drivers, and the nature and specifics of any background checks, how credible are they, of drivers and state laws that may require such checks. Madam Chair, in April of 2018, an investigation by CNN pointed out that after searching police reports, this is their quote, federal court records and county databases for 20 major cities, they found that 103 Uber drivers have been accused of sexual assault or abuse. However, the story notes that the numbers suggest that there may be many more overall incidents of abuse than the 103 cases. They told the story of a woman who had passed out in the back seat of an Uber. When she regained consciousness, the driver was on top of her, raping her 1 block from her home. The police picked up the man, John David Sanchez. They found videos of Sanchez raping other women and abusing teenagers dating back 5 years. In November, he was sentenced to 80 years of prison for those horrible crimes. What kind of background check did Uber do on this particular individual who did such heinous things? The report notes that Uber was made aware of CNN's reporting for the story, but the company failed to make any executives available, and it canceled an on-camera interview with an Uber executive. They didn't show up today either. Last month, 14 women sued Lyft for mishandling their sexual assault complaints against drivers. It was carried by The Hill. Some of you may have seen it. I read each of their stories, and that number is growing. Again, we're talking about predators, and these are Uber and Lyft drivers. In this case, it's a Lyft driver. The GAO study, I think, will provide us very, very important information about what they are doing, and it is the final part of the bill. Finally, due to the incomparable courage, compassion, and advocacy of Sami's parents, Seymour and Marcy, the state version of Sami's law, which is almost identical to our bill, it was a template for that bill, and I want to thank the Senate President Sweeney for his insisting that they follow that pathway. It was signed into law by Governor Murphy of New Jersey on June 20th. They did act very quickly. New Jersey, at least, New Jersey citizens are more likely to be protected than other states. And again, we're hoping that this bill will prompt those other states to do all that is humanly possible. We're not looking to eliminate this. We're looking to make sure when you get into that back seat, it's safe.
Thank you very much, Congressman Smith, Congressman Swayze.
Thank you.